Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So, heading back in here to likely go ahead and just get the last 2 rounds of this master event done. So, as always, if something has happened in between that is of note, and we're going to be probably getting less and less of that, other than maybe earning some swag and using it, as far as outfits, this, that, and whatever. But right now, I have actually gotten my character to level 100. It does cap at 100. That is the cap. So at this point, even though I earn XP, it doesn't really go anywhere in that regard. I'm at level 54, I think, on the Clubhouse Pass. So they have gone ahead, probably due to a little bit of pressure, and put in a double XP event again, kind of like they did for that first week, to help us move up, and that helped, where basically at the level they were at with the double points, every round I played moved me up 1 level for XP, so that kind of got me over the finish line with the last, whatever it was, 8 or 10 levels that I had to finish to get to 100. I do not have enough points right now, or enough VC, I'm sorry, to spend the points I have. So I think I still have 4 attribute points left to assign. I am at overall level 98. I assume assigning those last points will get me to 99 and unlock that achievement and whatever comes with it. And one of the things that I did unlock was a set of Mizuno irons, which I knew was coming in the Clubhouse Pass. So I have gone ahead and I've played a couple rounds with them already equipped. So that means I've earned a little bit of things, you know, a little bit of credit, and started unlocking some of the pieces. But once again, I'm having to get to the Evo point before I can do anything. Nice thing is, when, at least for now, when they're awarding you things, they're already at the Emerald level, so they don't start at the core level. So that just means I'm going to need 1 Evo tool to take it to the Sapphire, which is the highest we can get to in this season, it appears, and go from there. But that gets you up to speed on where things stand. Let's jump into round 3. Alright, I realized I'm not in the habit of checking the course settings, which I need to start doing, because that's a big part of the TGC Tour stuff, especially once we're in competitive mode. But we're on the red tees, obviously 3rd round pins, and it looks like we've got medium and south, but they're leaving everything at default other than that. I assume that is going to change as we go forward and actually start real events. But for these test events, I think just for simplicity, they've gone in and changed some wind and so forth, but they really seem to leave everything else for default of the core settings, because I think what they're trying to do is just let people get comfortable with the gameplay, and then, you know, adjusting for faster greens, slower greens, firmer fairways, whatever that can come later. But I'm feeling a lot better that at least I've gotten very close to what I need to make my player as good as they can be. Obviously, I need to get my irons up. That's going to take several rounds, but you know, I'll do what I can. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm struggling to press on. I played so many rounds this morning, I eventually got to the point like I just need to stop and step away, because this has now become a chore and it's no longer fun. But again, I think I played 4 or 5 rounds just in a row to get myself to 100, so I kind of did the grind and got up there. Let's get going. Alright, so again, we knew it was a medium wind. You can, you know, just kind of see where my circle is. Once again, the points I'm adding and what I can do, I think most of them went to putting. I did put some on recovery. Actually, I think it went to contact and recovery. I think I have space for some putting points, but you know, it's few and far between where I can go at this point because some of the pairs are fully utilized at this point. Oy, that was not a great swing. Haven't been that far off all day, but again, I've stepped away for a bit, and that may be enough. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. So we'll go there, and we shouldn't reach at this point. So, and if I do, I guess I do. But yeah, I mean, we got close, but I knew the rough would stop it if it did roll that far. All right, wind at her face, elevation up, so definitely a club up situation. If very closed again. Again, the chips definitely are working better than they were. You know, so it's a real arc and so forth. I have started applying some for things that aren't at a different level like that one was. I have started applying some heavy backspin, like we used to basically drag the left and the right thumbstick all the way to the bottom in 2K23 was kind of the process when you chipped. I'm still not doing anything with the left thumbstick, but I will go about halfway down where it starts to turn yellow on my meter, just to allow some backspin. And sometimes I'll go all the way down depending on what I need to do, but that has helped slow the rollout as well. Ah. Didn't move. All right. All right. Oop. Well, I would say that's more than medium, but they're calling it medium. Now it's 22 up, so I'm not going to pull back. I'm tempted to go up. Yeah, I might. Let's do that. Alright, a little bit better. At least I got one perfect, but okay, so that went too far. And then again, we're out of the bunker here. Oh, that was bad. That was bad. It was too soft. Oh boy. So that's the problem. I've started using the flop out of the bunker because the flop is so short. I probably ultimately really should have done that. But again, this is a learning experience as we go. The other thing I have done, I have used a good hunk of the attribute points to either get things to a higher level that I use a lot, like chip shots, or to unlock shots that could be useful. I've stayed away from things that I just really don't think I would use, but that's really not that many. And I think I still have about 90 attribute points left that I can apply, because obviously other than the greenskeeper and the thing for the technician, which I've already unlocked at the bottom level, where you have to have level 85, the other three types of archetypes, I can't get to those shots even if I wanted, and just unlocking those are 24 points. So if I just literally wanted to unlock them, I'm consuming 72 points to do that. So I'm kind of keeping that in the bank until I decide what I may or may not want to do. Because I will say, for example, with the powerhouse archetype, that unlocks a power drive, but it has like no, it says it's at the expense of forgiveness, so I read that to mean that the little kind of pie slices that are there in light white going up to those points are very, very thin, and I'm never very unlikely to be at a point where that's going to be what I choose to do, is take a high-risk shot to try to do something. So, all right, I'm going to go with that. All right, a little bit better. We're starting to at least get the right swing path. Wow, I could have gone up another club there. It's always a bit tricky. Now, see where I've got to go 21 yards to the hole. Like, I will not put a back roll on this because it's going to fly to about 13, and then I need the roll to get closer. But if it's something like it's, you know, 13 and it needs 15 or whatever, because it always rolls about that far or more. This was actually not that big of a roll. All right. We're definitely getting some wind, I'll tell you that. So I tend to get some things that knock my distance down. So you can see, I mean, I did go over a bit. So this is like an example where I'll go down a little, and you see it turns yellow pretty fast. And obviously I still need to kind of take a partial swing here. But that way I don't go roll way, way, way past the hole, which is what I was doing. So I was just trying to think through, you know, what I can change in my gameplay. All right. I don't like, I mean, those are the most challenging putts for me, are the ones that are on a slope and that I'm basically putting across the slope and just trying to get the right fall for it. It's just hard. It's one I have a real hard time dialing in on. So the other thing I have done, I think I talked several rounds back that, you know, I kind of came up with a 3-finger method for putting. I've actually started using that for everything at this point. I found I'm able to still control things a little bit better. Let me move over because of the wind. So, you know, I still got an arc. Obviously, it's not perfect, but I've seen improvement by doing that even on the other swings. So, all right. And definitely this pitch shot, not impacted by the wind. So, I've also noticed that. So I'm always careful, but there's a good rollout on these usually. It's going to prove me wrong again. Probably only went 3 yards, but that's also because it kind of got stuck between 2 hills. Not liking this up and then way down, because that down is going to put a lot of speed on it, and that's kind of what's going to happen. But hopefully, all right, we can bring it home. No birdies yet, but hopefully that'll change. I've definitely found some other online societies just to get myself time and practice in that are at master difficulty as well. So that has been helpful. So I did, and it's actually a harder thing. I really, really hope TGC Tours does not do this at the challenge level. But the one I found, they've got vibration turned off completely. So you are entirely having to swing based on like, and you can't tell the percentages in the lie. Like, it's probably as hard as you can get in the settings. So, you know, when you're trying to do an approach shot and you need to do a partial and you're trying to guess, like, this is 70%, you know, or whatever. Like, it still seems to set the ring, and it's kind of similar to this, although it's different because even on the putting, like, I have to change the view to get it to come up, and it goes away pretty fast. It only stays on for a few seconds. I think with the elevation, but with the wind, I'm gonna leave it with the pitching wedge. This tee shot wasn't bad, but this one not so good. And some of this is, again, I've got irons that are not, I mean, I'm just at the base setting where my club, my driver has got some fittings that has taken things up. Oh, I was worried that would be too much, but it worked out because it kind of dumped me back here. But let's see. I was worried about that. I'm going to have to work this out. Like, to really be a threat, I have to avoid those. I mean, I probably give up 5, probably 10 strokes around, if I'm really being honest. Missing those short ones because I can't get the break correct. So you can see my forgiveness zone's very large on these, where now if I'm in my irons, I mean, I guess this is about the same, but the contact points you can see are definitely smaller. Alright, we're going to go up. We also are going down, so I'm only going to go up 1. You know, and see, I'm touching those, but I'm off by 4 or 5 degrees because of what was happening. So this is going to become a flop. It's too much. So 5 feet up, I think that's as low as I can go. It is, so... I went 101 though, so that was too much. And again, the flop is a hard one, but it avoids just really poor outcomes. So like in this case, you know, you'd be guessing on that master difficulty. I mean, you'd have the circle, but you don't get the vibration at the transition that kind of gives you some indicator, like, yep, you're at the power you wanted. You know, I still have to determine if that's the power I want, and I know on those downhills I'm doing something a little bit different. Alright, we're going to lengthen this a bit. Uphill a lot. Man, I can't dial this quite in yet. So yeah, the master difficulty, not simple. And this is, again, like, it could have been a flop, it could be this. This is, alright, I thought it was going to get dumped off the edge. I'm like, this honestly isn't bad. So let's see. It's going to move over. It definitely wasn't my swing, because it had pulled to the other side, so it would have been even worse. It's like a really bright purple on that hat. It's like, it almost looks awkward. So, it's like too vibrant. Alright, there we go. Perfect, 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 perfect. So, that way you know I'm not a liar. I said I have done it on Masters. It does happen. I don't know that I've done it on Pro. I think I always have that transition, like at 101 or whatever, the power. So, okay. Alright, again, not bad. Oh, that happens a lot too. So this is another one. I'm going to do a little bit here, but we're going to do a full swing because we're coming from a pretty bad spot. But you can see, even with the roll, like, it went. It moves a good amount, so... But at least I have a better shot at the hole than I do being 20 feet, 30 feet away. So that is why I have adapted that as a change. But to me, the thing I really enjoy, I've talked about it a lot. I mean, I'm probably bordering on the point of being annoying, but how I really enjoy the swing mechanic. But to me, like, it's just so logical. Like, I see what's happening, and I'm like, well, I need to move to the right. I need to move to the left. I need to adjust this. That's how I came up with a different grip, and all that. But as far as, you know, the backspin, it's like, you know, it's just, well, what do I need to do? I need to slow it down. How do I slow it down? I add backspin. So it's all worked out quite nicely. Ooh. Alright, when you get them both in the same direction, it's pretty pronounced. Okay, so this is always challenging, because again, there's a good rollout on these. Alright. So it's really hard, especially if there's like some border on the green, because you have to obviously clear that. You know, and I'm talking more like there's a hill that I have to get over or something. Not that, you know, you have the fringe. Obviously, there's always a border on the green. That's not what I mean. Not the physical border of the grass length changing. I don't know. If I remember, I'll explain it later. Alright, with the wind, I'm going to go to the full driver. So very close on the rhythm. And again, we know we'll get held up, so, but that gets me nice and close. I go up one because we got heavy wind. And yeah, with the smaller grid, I've definitely determined, like, it's a lot of, oh boy. Oh, at least it didn't roll down to the river. That could have gotten ugly. So this is a good example. Like, I'm hitting over something, you know, but the pin is 39 yards. Like, I probably have to carry the 39 yards, because otherwise, you know, well, let's see. Yep. So I'd probably hit the tree is what happened. And again, this will be a slowdown. Oh, I got a really bad. I think I didn't swing on the right plane is what happened there, honestly. Because that was not a nice chip shot. Oh boy. I really thought that would go, but it didn't bend at all. So downhill, it breaks more, which would make sense because it's slower. So now I went downhill. Now I'll obviously be going uphill. So now there's less of a break. So you definitely need to be aware of that and adjust accordingly. So, alright. So yeah, definitely a terrible round if this was a competitive round. I'm not going to sugarcoat that at all. I'm not sure that this will make it. But we're going to try. If nothing else, we should be on the beach. I think we are. Yep, okay. Alright, and again, we're up in the air. We're 10% down. Ah, not high enough, see? And again, it had the rollout, but it didn't have enough to get up the hill. So this is one now where I've learned a flop is really my choice. That rise is enough and abrupt enough that the chip doesn't normally rise that high, and then you basically just end up there. The problem is the flop goes so far and your power goes up so fast. You just saw the result. I basically flew over the whole green. I don't know, maybe with a little faster speed I would have made it. Wow, I almost went too far the wrong way. So yeah, and I am debating, because I do have some pro societies, and I do some things in pro in the ranked tours. I'm thinking now that I've gotten my character to 100, I think I need to stop that. Because I think I need to settle into that I'm just playing master difficulty, because there is a clear difference. Like, I can tell the difference now between playing pro and playing master and how sensitive things are. And so it just tends to sloppiness, because it's like, yeah, I can do that. Oh boy. Alright, and we gotta go away because of the lie here. I think that'll be pretty good. Just rolls really fast. Alright. I always tend to like to putt from the fringe. It's just feel I got more control. So, and at least it won't, like, fly by on me, typically. I never want to say with certainty, because you know how that goes. You know, I suddenly whack one really hard, and you're like, I thought you said you had control. Well, you know what I mean. The majority of the time. See, just 8 degrees off, and over a drive, I mean, it's okay because the fairway's big, but if we need accuracy, sometimes it's challenging. All right, we're going to go up one. Nice, nice. So kind of an offset swing. Obviously we had the lie, so it goes off in a little bit of a direction. That might be too light, but maybe not. No, we didn't get up the little rise there. Needed a little bit more, but it's all right. That was I had a problem on the downswing. I corrected it well, but to get a good straight swing, but it didn't work. Ugh. And again, that reads, so there's another tossed away shot, and now we're going uphill, so it won't break as much. So that's the challenge, is like compensating for downhill, uphill, and how the break is different. And again, I mean, that's the reality of golf, and that's how it works. Alright, perfect. Wow, we didn't get a swing path perfect. We could have had 4 perfects, but for that swing path. But I guess I was off a bit. Alright, 5 iron down with wind. Man, I almost feel I'm going to go down a couple. This may be too much, but I think that's what it calls for. I'm going to be too far off the green. No, distance was good. But, alright, so again, this is going to become a flop. See, but I've got this spinner, so that's supposed to... But you can see, like, how far that is. That's for a longer shot, and it's supposed to check up relatively quickly. See, and I don't know, like, I guess the swing wasn't great, but it goes off to the side so easily. Alright. Again, it's a little bit downhill. Now I went too far, as far as moving over. So, but I was closer than normal, I guess, so I suppose that's a good thing. But yeah, so now the next goal is really getting myself to get those irons leveled up so that I can, because I certainly have enough fixtures, so I need to not only get them to Sapphire, use the Evo tool and get them there, I then need to unlock the 5 slots. And again, then I can, add 20 points to my stats on those clubs, and obviously they're important because I use them a lot. I mean, I use these woods a lot too, but that will come later. Oof. I don't know what happened there, other than just, again, multiplying it in the same direction. 22 feet down, even with wind. I don't like how it's sitting against that hill. I think... No, okay, it didn't, like, jack me off in one direction, but wow. Wow, that was bad. I might still pull a par out of this somehow, but... And again, it's downhill, so there was some movement, but it went, so at least we got the par 5. And I've had some amazing shots, some amazing holes. I mean, it definitely occurs. Wow. It's 25 up, so that's a lot. Oh boy, the wind's gonna pull it even more. God, I totally went across the green. I mean, think about that. I was aiming off the green, and then I ended up where I ended up. That's just amazing. This has got to be crazy. No, it's not crazy, but it is more. Oh, not nearly hard enough. Not nearly hard enough. That was... I was just kind of swinging back and forth, and then went, and I realized I went really soft. Wow, this is long. I'm not sure. Nope. Wow. I hate when I do that, and oh, that's too hard. That would have fallen if it was a little bit slower. Alright, I think this is the 18th. Yes, alright. So, long par 4. Now we missed the contact. We got the swing path, but... so, that's probably why they're doing TGC as master. I mean, you really got to be on to hit things and make it work. Ooh, now I went... Well, I guess the contact is back over, but wasn't enough that I could see it, so... Let's see. How far are we going to roll? Farther than I'd like. And again, downhill, so it's going to move more. But not as much as I thought. But we're close, so should be... Come on. Oh. Alright, wow. 50, and this is only the third round. So I'm basically at like 17 or 18 per round, so not TGC Tour caliber, but there you can see again we're getting like 1600, and the final level was 1580 because it basically adds 10 to every one. So you know, we started at like 580 or whatever it was for level 1, and here we sit. But the clubhouse passes stay at 1,000. So again, having that double, otherwise it's not 540, it's whatever that would be, 270. You know, and then obviously your multiplier would be down to 81, so you're only getting like 300. So it takes like 3 rounds to get up 1 level, where here you're able to do it a lot of times for a bit. Like now we obviously just went from the low end of 53, we're still in 53, but you're able to pop up a level at a time usually because you're getting whatever it is, 800. Yeah, I think it's what, 640. I guess it's 700, but either way, so it's like 2 rounds for sure you go up a level, where otherwise it's a good 3, you know, unless you get some course challenges. And I'm assuming, like, once I get to the PGA Tour, so there is a bit of an incentive, because it talks about training scenarios and other things. Like, there's awards if you do them in my career, but I can't find them. Like, I know where the training thing is, but that's not what it's talking about, because it's just, like, do 1 training scenario, and there's a quest for that. But I'm not getting those, and that's, I think, because those only happen when you're at the PGA Tour level in my career. So I also need to get there. So I'm sure I'll probably spend a little more time this week after I now play this last round of TGC Tours, and maybe do my focus of my play and do it in the career mode and just bank a lot of career rounds again. And that will be fine, but I think that will help, because I think the faster I get to PGA Tour, it's just going to allow some new game styles and gameplays, because I think there's also practice rounds available now as part of that, which are intriguing, because again, it's going to get you more time on the course. And they said, you know, hey, that's how PGA players do it. They'll go out and they'll play a practice round or 2 before the competition, and and then they start to know where they need to be careful and this and that. And that certainly has been a challenge sometimes when I don't have time to practice, and being able to have them count for something in the game is pretty cool. But obviously for TGC Tours, I don't know that that'll be relevant. But as always, if you've enjoyed this, haven't dropped a like, or are not a subscriber, please consider that, and I will see you next time.